Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Doom Patrol Season 4, Episode 5, Youth Patrol. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Sorry, I keep laughing every time I see this thing in the camera. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button. If you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Alrighty. Let's get to it, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you've not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give me enough time to hit pause, whatever you need to do, all that kind of good stuff. All right. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Penn. Yeah, I really like this episode. This is a good episode as well. And we're going to get jizzified. My favorite line out of this, I swear, is so Willoughby, of course, shows up because of Immortus, and he knows that the Doom Patrol is involved in all of this as well. And when he shows up, of course, I love Madame Rouge's reaction, which was she goes, "Well, fuck me senseless, call me Martha," which is my favorite line so far that I've heard. Well, fuck me senseless and call me Martha. And I'm sure Martha is a reference back to the Martha line from the Justice League or a Batman versus Superman thing. Which is hilarious and made me laugh quite a bit. There's actually a couple of good lines in this episode today, in this week's episode. Well, we find out actually that there's an Immortus project, which is what they are all part of. We finally get to figure out why the group is immortal, why they haven't aged. And Willoughby tells us that basically Chief, what he did was he was working on something, this ancient god called Immortus, and told the Bureau of Normalcy that they didn't exist. Of course, didn't that Immortus didn't exist? When he actually kind of lied about that. He actually took a piece of Immortus, which is what that necklace was. That's what he was wearing around his neck to keep young himself, and he took shavings off of that little necklace and put it in each and every one of his creations. Jane, Rita, Larry, all of them. Basically, that's what keeps them young. That's what keeps them immortal. And Immortus will not come into being until he can get all of those pieces back and put back together, and of course become whole again. And we find out that when Rita awakens, she's starting to grow old, because that's exactly what Dr. Janus had done, was with that locket, was taken out her immortal portion of her, the Immortus portion, I guess you could say. And that's the reason why she starts to grow old. So Rita, in her panic, decides to try and find a cure for it. She thinks that, Chief had found something else. Obviously, he'd been looking for 100 years. He obviously didn't find anything else other than that necklace. She comes across a box that says, experimental, dangerous, do not open, pretty much. And what does she do? She opens it, pulls out a vial. Cliff surprises her and she drops it, and everyone gets hexed by this spell, which basically makes them younger. And what it does is it takes them to their teenage years, and it's going to take them. Well, first it makes them younger, then it takes them to their teenage years, and it'll take them to their childhood years, and then of course they become babies, and then so on and so forth till they don't exist. And Willoughby is like, fuck, now we need to go and find somebody to get rid of this hex. And that's when it becomes a road trip. Larry isn't involved in any of this because he is off looking for Keeg. Keeg, remember from the last episode, never came back from the mission to get Rita back, and so Larry was looking for him. That was something that was kind of overlooked in the last episode. They really didn't tell us that Keeg hadn't come back, which I kind of missed. So that was interesting that Larry is kind of meditating to find out where Keeg is at. And he finds Keeg in a cabin. He goes walking out there and passes out and wakes up, and Mr. 104 has found him. And we have an interesting exchange. Keeg is actually inside Mr. 104, and not by Mr. 104's choice. Keeg is actually there, and Keeg basically just wants to show has a lesson that both Mr. 104 and Larry were both at the Bureau of Normalcy and were both tortured by the Bureau of Normalcy for their powers, and that's the reason why Mr. 104, or Rama, as his first name is. Um Finds out that's the reason why he ended up joining the Immortus cause, is because he wanted to end the pain of others, and that's what Immortus had offered him if Immortus made him whole. So we have Larry now and Immortus, excuse me, Larry and Rama on the same page here, but Larry, all of a sudden there's a rip in the continuity, I guess you could say, and he gets sucked out into this green void, and Rama follows him. So that's where we're at with that. And also we got Jane. Jane has her own issues going on with the underground. She decides to smoke a little weed, and well, actually a lot of weed. She filled up that bowl she packed that bowl a lot. And she was going to get a little handsy with herself, and she ends up in the underground. And the underground people basically are like, "Why the fuck are you here? You just showed up." She goes, nothing. I wasn't doing anything," and comes back up to the top. Well, on their road trip, of course, Jane and Vic end up, of course, getting high on Willoughby's stash, which is wizard Kush, which is a lot more powerful, I guess, than regular Kush. And Jane ends up communing with Kay, and Kay just lets her know, that the body that she is in, there, it's all their body, so they all share that body. So it's not, if she's gonna masturbate, she can masturbate, basically, is what she's saying there, you know. Uh which, it was kind of an odd exchange, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I can see this. Um Cliff, in the meantime, basically tells everybody, you know, hey, I've been going through a lot of shit, and no one's been asking me how I've been doing at all. And that's why I'm not helping you motherfuckers. I'm going off and doing my own thing. I'm partying. And of course, Madame Rouge and Rita go off on their own, and they have their shit to work out, which they do as they become children. We find out that Madame Rouge was affected by the hex. She said she held her breath, but didn't work, and she's been using her shape-shifting powers to make it look like she hasn't been affected by it, when really she has. So in the end of all of this, Willoughby does not get over to his former master's place in Toledo to reverse the hex. Instead, the Knights Templar show up with Bunbury, who the furry little cunt, as Willoughby calls Bunbury. And Bunbury makes Willoughby whole again. And then Jane goes to run and becomes a baby. And then Bunbury takes something from Jane, but we don't know. That's where the episode kind of ends. Now, if you stayed till the end of the credits and you watch the trailer for next week's episode, cover your ears if you don't want to know what it is. Everyone's fine, but we know that Bunbury actually has taken Jane's immortality. Because she's starting to grow old. Everyone's back to normal at this point, too. So obviously the Knights Templar and Bunbury turned everyone back to normal, and shit is still ensuing. The other funny thing about all of this too is, the group has said to Willoughby that, hey, you know what? We stopped the apocalypse. We killed all the butts, except for the one butt that's still running around with Dr. Yu out there. And what the hell? Everything should be good. And of course, when he's telling that Immortus is another threat, um, Jane actually tells Vic a pretty good thing when she's really, really high, of course, is that the world is always going to be in danger. You need to actually pay attention to your friends, kind of thing as well, and cultivate those relationships. And basically what she's saying is you need a good work-life balance is what she's telling him. And that's good news, good advice to anybody out there is you can't just be all about your work. You need to have a good work-life balance as well. So yeah, that's a good episode. And I love seeing Willoughby back again. Bunbury, man, it's such a it's a funny character. It doesn't need a lot, but it works. I don't know why, it just does. And this is why I love this show. This show is so off the wall out there and so different from everything else out there and so unpredictable. You don't know where things are going to go. And that's kind of what I like about this. We kind of know that once they take care of the Immortus thing, they're most likely still going to have to face the apocalypse with the butt apocalypse, with Dr. Yu and the last remaining butt, Nicholas, or I can't remember which one was there. So yeah, I'm actually looking at my notes right now, and I didn't write it down there. So anyway, um, yeah, good episode, lots of fun. I'm looking forward to next week's episode as well. And I think we only get I think next week's episode is right before the break. I think they're going to be doing a break, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually looking at the IMDb page right now. We're on episode 5. Yes, next week's episode is the mid-season break is what we're going at right now. So, and I think we have 6 more episodes after that. I think we have 12 episodes this season, if I'm not mistaken. So I know Titans is supposed to be coming back. I saw that. Well, actually, I fast forwarded. Well, not fast forward. I skipped it. They did it right before the episode, and they said that Titans was coming back, and I was like, I don't want to see. And then I was like, oh wait, I did want to see when it was coming back, just because I want to know when that's over with. Then Titans starts up again, or Doom Patrol starts back up again. So there we're at that junction. So yeah, one more episode left before the break, the mid-season break. Until then, I don't know what else I'm gonna look at, to tell you the truth. Actually, let me go over to suspend. Oh, that's right. I know what I'm gonna be looking at. Next week. Next week, I'm gonna start up with the Bad Batch season 2, which starts on January 4th. Um, and The Last of Us, which starts on January 15th. The Legend of Vox Machina season 2 is going to be releasing 3 episodes a week, I believe is what's going to happen. That starts on January 20th. So yeah, there's going to be a few things here and there, but hopefully there's some other stuff that comes in that can fill in the void. But until then, that's where we're at. Yeah, that's all I got for you. I'm toying with the idea of doing a podcast tomorrow, or doing one of these streams tomorrow night, just to kind of, I don't know, shoot the shit kind of stuff. All the stuff that's been out there this year. What your favorite stuff has been, during the year, what your not favorite stuff has been during the year. Yeah, I know normally I try and keep it positive, but I mean, there's been stuff that I've dropped just because it's been bad, Willow. And it's with good reason. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about doing that tomorrow night, not on New Year's Eve, because you guys are gonna be busy, and me too. Well, somewhat. I'm really not doing anything New Year's Eve, so big surprise on that one. After you've worked it for so many years, bartending, that kind of stuff. I did that for Oh, I would say roughly about 8 years that I'm not really a big fan of New Year's Eve, the amateur night. Penn says, "I still like Willow more than Rings of Power. Both were letdowns." Yeah, I'll talk about it tomorrow. I am not a fan of Willow right now. The series, it's just yeah, it's mm, mm, yeah. So with that said, I want to thank everyone who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you know who you are out there, Morks. Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library. It's over 1,000 videos now. So it's going to pop up at random whenever it is. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again most likely tomorrow. I'll post it up. I'm going to try and do it a little earlier. I'll see what happens. Oh, thank you, Pen. Yes, it's my Doom Patrol robot man screaming in pain shirt. So, thanks, everyone. I will see you again most likely tomorrow. Like I said, I'll post it up someplace here. You'll see it on YouTube. So thank you, everyone. I will see you again. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. They don't work without the boosters, especially since it looks like we're having another round again. And stay safe out there, everyone. Have a good rest of your night. And thank you, everyone. Have a good night.